to repeat the same experiences over and over, and yet she didn't have the courage to change. She needed to be constantly struggling to discover her path. Now that she had experienced the dark night, she knew that she didn't want to find her way through it. And although she was sometimes dissatisfied with herself, she felt unable to go beyond her own limitations. Books were safer. The shelves contained reprints of treatises written hundreds of years ago. It was an area in which very few people dared to say anything new. And in the pages of these books, occult knowledge, distant and remote, seemed to smile at the efforts made by each generation to uncover it. Apart from looking at the books, Brida had another important reason for going to the shop: to observe the other customers. Sometimes she would pretend to be reading some respectable alchemical treatise, when she was in fact scrutinizing the men and women, usually older than her, who frequented the shop and who knew what they wanted and always went to the right shelf. She tried to imagine what they must be like in private. Some looked very wise, capable of awakening forces and powers of which mere mortals knew nothing. Others appeared to be desperately trying to rediscover answers they had long ago forgotten, but without which life had no meaning. She noticed, too, that the most regular customers always had a word with the owner. They talked about strange things, such as the phases of the moon, the properties of stones, and the correct pronunciation of ritual words. One afternoon, Brida got up, sufficient courage to do the same. She was on her way back from work. On a day when everything had gone well, she thought she should make the most of that good luck. "I know that there are secret societies," she said. She thought this a good conversational opener. She knew something. But the owner merely looked up from his accounts and stared at her in amazement. "I was with the Magus in Folk," said Brida, rather put out now, and not knowing quite how to continue. "He explained to me about the dark night. He told me that the path of wisdom means not being afraid to make mistakes." She noticed that the owner was listening more intently now. If the Magus had bothered to teach her something, she must be special. "If you know that the dark night is the path, why do you need books?" he said at last, and she knew that mentioning the Magus had not been a good idea. "Because that isn't the way I want to learn," she said. The owner looked more closely at the young woman standing before him. While she clearly had a gift, it was nevertheless odd that the Magus of Folk should have devoted so much time to her. There must be something else, she could be lying. But then again she had spoken of the dark night. "You often come here," he said. "You arrive, read a few books, but never buy anything." "They're too expensive," said Brida, sensing that he wanted to continue the conversation.